Member for Curtin.
This question is to the Minister representing the Minister for the Environment. The benefits in the current environmental protection reforms are at risk of being undermined by huge loopholes. Under the reforms, projects can pay for environmental damage into a centralised offsets fund. But in New South Wales, Queensland, the Pilbara and overseas, these funds have consistently failed to deliver real environmental outcomes. Will the government consider amendments to put stronger safeguards around this offsets fund so it actually delivers for nature?
Give the call to the Leader of the House and the Minister representing the Minister for Environment and Water.
Thank you very much, Speaker, and I thank the member for Curtin for raising the legislation in that particular aspect of it, and acknowledge the member for Curtin in a time in this place has followed these issues relating to the environment throughout a whole time here. If I can go through the changes that are there with respect to offsets in two sections, if I may. The first is a change. At the moment, under environmental law, there's a principle of no net loss. Under the new principle, it goes to net gain. And that's a significant shift that happens in terms of what offsets are aiming to be able to deliver for the environment. The second concept at the moment is that a business delivers an offset directly themselves, and that's the only option. And as the member for Curtin has described, under the legislation, there becomes an option of either delivering the direct offset to the business itself or paying for the government to do it via a restoration contribution payment. There is potentially a real strength for the environment in the payment mechanism if we get this right, and it's this. When you have small offsets all over the place, effectively you end up with no sections that are large enough or have landscape scale to have true environmental resilience, particularly when we're dealing with climate change. If you can have somebody who is independently charged with looking at where those offsets occur, then instead of businesses choosing this area and that area, and effectively you end up with a map of Australia that looks like someone's got a toothbrush and spattered bits of paint, you get these tiny little dots with no resilience. You end up with a situation where you can deliver landscape-scale offsets which are capable of resilience and therefore delivering a long-term outcome for the environment in a scenario where we've made the change I referred to at the start of going from no net loss to a net gain. So that's why the independent restoration contributions holder is established. The concept of that holder is effectively for the land sector an equivalent to what we have under the Water Act for the Commonwealth Environmental Water Holder, where you have someone who is in charge of holding these, in this case this amount of money, but delivering with a direct obligation to provide landscape-scale outcomes, which project by project the environment has never been able to get out of the EPBC Act. The concept that the member refers to in terms of the government's appetite for amendments, the minister has made clear that we are in discussions on this legislation. We want to be able to see it get through, and we're in constructive conversations with the different groups around the parliament. We want to make sure that we get this done and we get it done this year.